Who's the magic Santa there? Hey there, magic Santa.
We had the same exact idea to discuss. So
we did not talk about that at all. And we both
that
said,
was
ho,
pretty
ho,
good.
ho.
That was pretty good. I'm the one wearing the hat, though. The hat doesn't
Yeah.
fit me. I couldn't find mine, so I had to grab my son's, and his head's a little bit smaller, and my headset's causing my little...
Are you coming to town to deliver courses to all the good boys and girls?
I'm coming to town, but you better be good. You better be nice. I'm gonna visit both the naughty and the nice kids.
I guess I'm not getting any courses according to my T-shirt.
I love your shirt, by the way. That's awesome. We are doing a better job than we did for Halloween, which is we did nothing to recognize Halloween. So at least for Christmas, there's something. I guess I should change my background from the electronic hacker cave to I should have done a Christmas tree or something. But whatever.
Yeah, I have a ton of them I've been using for work, and I should have loaded them up. Oh well.
So we use Microsoft Teams at work.
Yeah,
and that they're always coming out with all kinds of new features. The Teams team comes out all the time with new features, and there's a new one which is awesome. I think it's great, and it's called Decorate. And you literally go to your video feed, and you click on the Decorate button, and there's all these different. You can choose like garden or festive or whatever, and it superimposes over your background these things. Like festive has a disco ball that's above the top and all this stuff, and it will remove crap out of your background too. It's like a bunch of stuff on the table behind me, and it gets rid of all that. And one of them is a holiday one, so you click on that and you get holiday themed stuff. So I've been using that a lot during I'm talking with my hands a lot, I noticed. So
yes, you're happy. That's how Santa talks.
Hello, boys and girls.
All right, so we're recording on a Friday, so we'll have a show out this weekend. It's probably going to be Sunday morning though, because I have early field hockey tomorrow. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna get out of the house. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you haven't been out of the house in like a week, right?
When did I go? I did go out of the house. When was it? Oh, I went out of the house last night to go to one of my daughters her Christmas dance recital it was like an hour long.
Nice. How'd your foot do? Okay, being down, not elevated?
After about an hour, I was ready to put it back up again. So now tomorrow's going to be a little rough. It's like a 2-hour trip to get there. It's like 6 hours of field hockey and then a 2-hour trip home. But our plan is for me to be in the back seat with the foot up all the way there.
Okay, because if you told me you were driving, you'd get there like an hour because your foot would just go like all the way down on the gas pedal.
Yeah, because I'd be effectively driving with my hip flexor because I got no flexibility in my toe. Yes.
Yeah, you'd be moving your whole hip just to get on and off the gas.
I'd be driving, pushing down like I'm doing a squat.
I'd pay to see that, by the way.
I don't know. That's got to be extremely dangerous. There's no touch at the Yeah, so we'll just go, and then the plan is I'll go watch her play field hockey, and then between I'll probably go back out to the car and lie down again. But it's definitely better. It's better. Let me put it that way. Good. It used to be that as soon as I put it down, it throbbed. Now I'm sitting here actually without it lifted up. Now towards the end of the show, I'll probably lift it up. But
okay, good. Well, hey, it's the right direction, right? It's not hurting as much, and again, hopefully we'll get you back on the course before you know it.
Yes.
Before the snow melts in Pittsburgh.
Well,
in Pennsylvania.
Definitely before June, right?
For sure before June. Yeah, we got to take some video of the June. The June stuff's going to be fun. I can't wait for the June stuff.
And we just booked flights for our Kiawah trip.
We did. So we have actually, I don't think folks know that, but we are playing golf twice this summer. You're coming out here, then I'm going to go with you and your buddies and play for a few days in Kiawah. So I'm looking forward. That'll be fun.
Yep. That should be fun. All right. So onward, so we're going to do something a little bit different. Normally right now we talk about what's behind the bar, and we are going to talk about what's behind the bar, but we're going to do a combo
holiday
segment. Holiday edition combo segment of what's behind the bar and getting to know Master Mashy So we're morphing these two things together, and check out my advanced animation skills there.
Telling you, that was pretty good. I got to give you credit for that. Was nicely done. It wasn't like that when I looked at the slides earlier. So
I just did this when you were just grabbing your drink.
Nicely done. I love it. Hello, my name is Behind the Bar.
Yes. So the question, you came up with this one, which is, what's your favorite holiday drink?
Yeah.
Right. And I said, ooh, and I make my own eggnog.
Ooh,
now,
can you put our video back on the main screen?
Oh shoot, yes. Thanks for reminding me about that. Yep.
Yeah, I want to see.
100%. I'm like holding it up like people can see it.
There we go. Now I can see it.
So this is it, and you can tell it's homemade because it comes in a big old jug with stains and stuff in it.
Is that like cinnamon on the side or nutmeg on the side?
Yes, cinnamon on the side. Yeah.
So you literally like, you made you didn't like buy the eggnog and then doctor it up. You made eggnog.
No. And it's there's no eggs in it. Like this is more like it's ice cream and whiskey and rum and sugar and vanilla extract and cinnamon and sugar and then I let it sit and kind of, it doesn't ferment per se, but it sits for about a week and then like settles and then so my family.
Is it good?
Oh, I love it. I mean,
you don't get poisoned on it? Like it's been fermenting for a week outside?
No, the funny thing is like it's really I talked to a buddy of mine from college who's a chemist, and I said, because I would make this and like 2 months later I would still drink it, the same batch, and he's like, yeah. Alcohol prevents the milk from going bad. Milk doesn't go sour when there's alcohol in it. So he said, yeah, it'll keep for a long time. So
there you go.
I call it nog because there's no eggs in it.
I need the recipe for that one. I want to try that one. But now that now that I know it takes a week to make, it's too late to make for now. Like Christmas is in like 2 days. So.
I shouldn't say it takes a week. You can drink it right away. I think it's better after a week. Put it that way.
Oh, okay.
You could do it and like drink it right then. And actually, my wife likes it better, kind of like right after, because it's more frothy.
Yeah. Okay.
It's more it's more bubbly and frothy after it comes out of the blender versus a week later it's more like traditional eggnog, which is kind of flat
down a little bit. Yeah. Sounds good. Wow, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
All right, send it to me. I am doing my own concoction as well of a holiday mule.
Oh.
All right. So what I am doing,
you even have the metal cup there. Is that copper?
I even have the copper cup. Yep. Yeah. Even have the copper cup. And my lime is inside, so versus on the edge here. What I do for the holiday is I use ginger beer like a normal Moscow Mule, and I have a bottle of Deep Eddy cranberry infused vodka.
Deep Eddy.
All right. Deep Eddy makes it out of Austin. And
that's also my porn name, by the way.
I'm Steve Delatorre. I don't know. And I use a cinnamon stick, a little cinnamon on top, a little nutmeg on top. You stir it all in. You use a cinnamon stick in it as well, and a little lime juice for the mule, and you end up with this cranberry infused Moscow Mule, holiday mule I call it, and it's really holiday flavored.
All right, well we're gonna have to trade recipes then, because my wife, I like mules, but my wife really likes Moscow mules, so she would definitely be into this 100%.
It's good. My wife likes it a lot because it's got the cranberry. It gives it a little more fruitiness than a standard.
She loves cranberry too, so 100%.
She'll love it. She'll love it. God damn this stupid thing.
We'll see how long. Let's take bets on how long Nashi wears the hat for during the show.
I'm gonna do our MPOWs like this with it right here in the middle of my nose. All right, let's go. What's next?
All right, what is next? The new courses.
New courses.
Look at that.
Thank you, people, for only releasing 6 new courses from last show to this show.
Yes. Wait, was it 6 or 7?
I don't know. 6.
No, you're right. 6. No, I think it was 6. It was 6. It was 6. Yeah. So on with the show. We have Kapalua Plantation course.
God, who did that one?
I don't know. but I had
18 months in the making.
Yes, 18 months in the making. Now here's the thing: is everyone's been making fun of me because this is like the first V4 course I've had out, and it's been a long time. There's a strong possibility we're gonna have a course for me next week and the week after.
I know. You're like, one, you got nothing to do for the last few weeks, and the next few weeks. And two, you're further along on those. You've had them in the hopper, yeah.
I've had, and like they've been like this little bit of a science project. I've been like doing stuff.
Yep.
The funny thing is, I was talking to John about this course. I was having some problems on it, and he said, well, something must have got imported in there. And he said, did you import this from a past project? I think Hershey Country Club has been in every version of the Unity-based project since the beta last October.
That is funny. I believe it. Yeah.
So for the fact that it got a little poisoned along the way is no surprise. And of course,
were you able
John
to fix
Meyer,
it, or
he knew exactly. It was 2 issues. One was with like the 3D grass script, which all I had to do was set mesh again and then rerun the script, and everything got fixed. And the other one was what was the other one? I can't remember what the issue was, but it was fixed. Right? It was something, just a rogue script that was hanging out. But anyway, okay, yes. So I digress. Kapalua Plantation course by yours truly. Green Meadow Prairie in New Hampshire by, we always say, is it Squirrel Tail? Yep. Ohio State University Gray and Scarlet courses. Now, I graduated from Penn State, so I have a hard time with this. But I put on my independent hat and took a look at those courses. So are we talking about this now? I think like the honorable mention here for that course.
Yeah. So we really liked these two courses. We both did. We had a long discussion. Believe it or not, we actually discussed every single course, and we felt that like Scott had put a lot of detail, from custom tees to flags to just a lot of that really great work. And we really liked it. We thought it really well. But for me, the courses themselves, not the work he put into the course themselves, I found a little flat from myself. They were not. I don't know. I just thought they were not the most. They weren't challenging. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how else to describe it. But we wanted to call out the great work
that we do take into account, like a great course that's done really well by the designer, and the course itself on how it plays, which is kind of out of the play of the designer, right? Hence you have people like the Patreon guys who like always really build really good, consistent courses, but sometimes we don't give them an MPAL just because the course itself just isn't memorable, right?
Right.
Yeah. But we thought he did a really good job.
Great work. Honorable mention to Scott for both these courses. A lot of work on them. They're good courses to go play. But we just didn't throw them down the MPAL route this time. Yeah.
And I did give it in it because my youngest daughter is actually considering going to Ohio State. So that'll be a tough pill, but what's best for your kids, right? Then two more. We had Thorpewood in Cambridgeshire, the UK, by Simply Matey.
Yep.
And then University Ridge. Now, there's some talk about what's going on here. University Ridge. I'll spoil the surprise right now. We did not give University Ridge an MPAL. It seemed very saturated. Like,
very saturated.
But there's like been talking like, okay, Carl's Place, like, are they building courses for fees? Is this a licensed designer that did this? But the style of the course was not. It's interesting because we as designers, a lot of times we can look at a course and we can have a pretty good educated guess on who built it without knowing.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And you look at this course and it looks different. Like it looks like a first course to me. So the question is, who's building these for Carl's? And someone had posted something that Carl's is doing these for fees. So are they licensed somehow to do this or what? I don't know.
Yeah, I when I first saw it was Carl's Place, that was my first question. Was it is it the Carlos place where you get the simulator gear, or was it somebody who worked there or owned? I don't know. Like I don't have, but they're not. I did go back and check. They're not on the list of authorized fee-enabled designers.
But it makes you wonder: is one of the
Licensed.
authorized designers doing it for them?
Doing it for them, and then they're just. But yeah, who knows
But it
exactly?
goes back to, if they are, that doesn't look like any of the courses I have seen from authorized designers. If that
Yep.
makes sense, right?
Yep, agreed. Yeah, it doesn't look like a Pac-Man course. It doesn't look like a
No.
run-to-run course. It doesn't look like the normal guys that we see come through regular.
Yeah.
I also want to call out. Will you go back to the course list real quick? I do want to call out one thing.
You want to go back?
Thorpewood.
On
No, I think we'll go back one. Let me make sure. I think it was University Ridge. Go back one more. Green Meadow, Kapalua. No, it was Thorpewood. I had a very interesting thing happen on Thorpewood. So simply me, just so you know, on the first hole, there's a bunker to the left of the green, a greenside bunker. And I put the ball in that bunker. It fell through the world. Next thing I know, I was off a tee. Found myself re-hitting. So I hit it off the tee again, left side near that bunker, played out the rest of the hole, but ended up with a score of 10. Like and then I went back and did it again to try, and I got it to fall through the world again. But then I went to go record it, and I couldn't get it to do it again. So there's something in that area, that front left greenside bunker.
I don't know
The
if
rest,
that's a course or not, because I had someone that happened on Kapalua just recently too. Now, they did not give me nearly enough information. All they did was just film like the counter of the ball falling. So all I knew is they were on like hole 15.
Okay.
And so maybe this is a new bug.
Maybe
I don't know.
because I couldn't. When I was close, I went to go replicate it, so I got down. I placed the ball right near the bunker, and I like chipped it in, and I hit out, and I couldn't get it to replicate again.
Yeah.
But it happened to me twice in a row, and so I'll
For it to happen
in case
twice
you
in
want
a
to check
row,
it.
there's got to be like, obviously there has to be an open seam if it's the designer's fault. And for
But I
you to
couldn't
hit
see
that,
any seams.
yeah, but for you to hit that twice in a row seems extremely
From the tee. Like it was 270 yards down there to
yeah,
hit the same spot twice as
right,
like
right,
lightning.
right.
Especially with how bad my swing is. So there you go. But heads up, in case you want to double check something around those meshes,
Yeah,
in case I
it's
doubt
worth
it,
a
but
look.
just so you know.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know, like in beta Kapalua, I think Justin had one fall through a mesh, and he luckily recorded it, and I could tell where he landed, and then I went to that area, and there wasn't even a seam anywhere near that area because it was a big, like, deep rough area. And I was like,
Yep.
okay, it was definitely not a tear between seams because he wasn't even near one. So I don't know if we're dealing with like another, like, because we used to have
Could
the
be.
issue with bug that
Yep.
balls would drop through.
Yep. Now, I will tell you one small tip I found is I will load a lot of times my course in Greenkeeper to look for separations and meshes easier than Unity, because Greenkeeper, there's nothing on it. There's no vegetation. There's nothing. And actually, the way Greenkeeper loads up that terrain or those meshes, I find it easier to find them, especially in deep. If you're looking for holes, where like they don't line up right. So anyway, just a tip there, or I think there was something else I was going to say. Oh, now I will say, if it's a random bug, cool. Way better than my random bug. Did you see my random bug this week?
No.
On the Breckenridge course?
No.
I
saw you pushed an update.
I did. I kept getting people that were like, "Hey, course is great, but I got a water hazard over here." And I'm like, "Yeah, there's no water over there. I don't know what you're talking about, dude." I went and looked. One guy was like, sent me a note, sent me a picture. It's like, "Hey, we got a water hazard right here." And I'm like, there's no water on that 9 holes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Figured it out. Had one of the leaf colliders set to water, not wood. Or not GS4 leaves.
On like one model of tree.
On one model of tree, so the ball would hit the tree or the leaves and it would get the water.
Oh man. So you could have done is how did you end up finding it? Did you do a fine reference and seam for the water collider, or did you just happen to stumble across that tree
Happen to stumble across. I was just like looking for things on what could cause, because I got enough reports of, hey, I mean, it was like, I did finally get one, and the guy pointed and he sent me a screenshot and said it's right here. and it was right next to a tree. And so I was like, well, let me just double check the prefab. Maybe, and I loaded up the prefab, and sure enough, on the leaf collider, it was set to water. And I think what happened is it hit that, triggered the water
Yeah,
collider,
of
but
course.
the ball still fell to the ground.
Right.
So it looked like it was splashing in water that wasn't really there.
Yeah. It's like a wild goose chase at that point because people are like, "Oh, it's right there on the ground." No, it was up
Yep,
ahead.
it was up ahead. So that was my oops idiot moment this week.
Well,
So
my idiot moment this week, and this happens to me, I think, more often than I'd like to admit, which was I've been working on these other two courses. I'm at the stage now where I'm looking at performance. My performance is still good, so go add more stuff, right? Higher LODs, more 3DG.
yep,
And
yep.
then all of a sudden I loaded it up into Greenkeeper and I'm doing benchmark tests and that performance just tanked. I'm like, oh
Huh.
my God, what did I do? And I'm going back in the editor and I'm looking and I can't figure out what is causing this. Everything looks good. Back in, performance sucks. This goes on for about an hour, Mashy. Me back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. My laptop came unplugged.
So it was power drain on that. It was just running down on
It was just,
a
it was
third of the
just,
CPUs and yeah.
yeah.
You were on power save mode. That's awesome. I love that. Hey, we need we need Steve to queue up a new segment now. It's like my idiot moment, right? And like every now and then we'll throw, because I've got about a bunch of these over the years of building courses of, you're like, did I really just spend 3 days trying to fix this stupid thing that
I have
I
another one, but maybe we'll save it for another show
save it,
segment.
because I've got another one as well. I
All
haven't,
right.
I got a couple of those. So I love
And
that new
guys,
segment.
designers, if you're listening, if you have a good one that you want to share with us, let us know. Maybe we'll
Yep.
put it on the show.
My stupid designing moment. I love that. New segment.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
To Steve. Cue the
Steve,
explosions.
woo, fireworks. Can we
All
do
right.
jingle bells instead of fireworks,
There
Steve,
we
or
go.
something? Because this is like, we need a wreath on top of our slide there or something. I don't know. We need a holiday theme.
There we go. All right. We'll take care of this. We'll figure it
All right, good.
out. Let's see here. Well, look at that. It's
Kapalua.
my first
We're
M
gonna.
pal. It's my first
It's your
M
first
pal.
MPOW. How crazy is that?
So
Now,
excited.
I in all transparency, you had no involvement in this, as
Nope.
we, just so everybody in the show knows, we stay out of our own courses, and so he did nothing with this decision. It was all me. He did no slides. He doesn't even know what's coming, because I did all the slide work on this one as well. So congratulations on
Thank you.
a
Finally.
long anticipated but
Finally.
beautifully done course.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much.
Now, this is one that and again, I didn't take, by the way, a ton of screenshots of the course itself, because people are playing it a ton and it's getting a lot of visibility. And so, I really, if you want to go see the
So
holes, go
I
play it.
saw
Like,
a discussion on Discord. Like when the course first came out or something, someone said, "Hey, do anyone want to play tonight?" And someone said, "Okay, how about Kapalua?" And the guy's like, "No." And they're like, "Why not?" And he goes, "Because I expect I'm gonna be playing the shit out of that course over the next couple months, and I might as well just wait."
exactly. Yes, I've played it 7 times in 2 weeks. So, but now I have history. I don't have history with the course. I have personal history with this course.
Right.
My daughter and I played, and this is going to give you a testament to the quality of the work. My daughter and I played this course over spring break last March. We played both the Bay course, which I hope is on your radar to go do. And if you want to do it together, I'll do it with you, because the Bay course is really, the Bay course, I think, has the only par 3 that you hit over the ocean in Hawaii.
Okay.
It's a really cool hole. Anyway, but we played Kapalua together, and then when, I think it was last week, I was downstairs playing through it, and I was teeing, I was playing in this, hitting in the range, actually, and my daughter came downstairs, who is a golfer, and said, "Hey, this course looks familiar." And I'm like, "It's Kapalua." She's like, "I want to play." And so we played 18 in the sim on your version of Kapalua. And the whole time she was like, "I remember this hole. I remember where my ball went on this hole. I remember this hole. I remember this hole." And so we spent the 18 holes kind of replaying our own round when we played together in real life. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
that's a testament to the quality.
That's the things that designers want to hear, like things like that,
Yeah,
right?
it's cool.
Um,
It's cool.
yeah, well, we'll talk about the Bay course, because the issue, what took actually extended amount of time for Kapalua, was the lidar. It's unclassified lidar, which means all
Yeah,
the
that's
trees
right.
came in. That took a
Yeah,
significant amount of time. It's
yeah,
not unsurmountable, but it's something to be considered. So we'll talk. We'll talk.
yeah. Cool. All right, let's go through it. Let's go through it.
Cool.
All right. Um, what can you say? I mean, best driving range in all of GS Pro. Is all enough said. Short, and I think you just grabbed a patch. I mean, the house is a real house because the house is. I think it's you come down 18 or one of the holes, and the house has got a pool and stuff right there on the course.
No,
and you took
this is
the
actually
house
the house off of 10.
10.
Yeah,
Got it.
so
Yep.
there's actually, and there's a story behind this driving range, the sign and everything here, which is Stingray. He's the psychiatrist.
He's a psychiatrist.
So first of all, this course was a result of the March of Dimes fundraiser I did last year. And right. Cook and Sting loaded that. They both contributed a significant amount of money and put Kapalua as their choice. So that won. And he came back and he said, hey, if you do this course, you have to find the houses that have the practice fairways on. Yep. And there's two. There's one on 10, and I think the other one's 14. And I like this one because it hits like down. If you hit this far enough, you can see the pin from one of the holes way down there.
Way down there, yeah.
So if you hit it far enough, you actually are hitting out onto the course, and theoretically people are like playing as they walk by and stuff. So when Sting told me this, I said, okay, and he never said, hey, do this. But he said you have to look for these and make sure that you show them on the course because, these are rich houses. Yep. So I did that and decided to do the driving range on there and put the sign in there as an homage to him because he...
Well, and if you go forward one, I have a close-up of the... Yeah, I got a close-up of this. Yeah, there you go. Yep. So,
so the bottom
you want to walk
through.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hit balls at your own risk because you're basically hitting them out onto the course and you could hit somebody playing golf. No peeing in the pool, self-explanatory. If you turn left, there's actually the pool is right there. Yep. No heckling the golfers on the course, yelling at golfers, no aiming or yelling at golfers on the course, right? And of course, you have his wife sitting there.
Yep, his wife is right there. Yeah. No staring.
Yeah. Turtles, there's a running joke, if people don't know. Sting is an amazing designer, but just like this is his idiot moment. We talked about like the new segment. I don't know if you were. He brought in these custom team. Was it for what course? Was it Whispering Pines? One of the courses.
Wait, I think it was Whispering Pines.
Has the turtles.
Has the turtles.
But he brought them in. He didn't realize that they were like 3 million tries each.
And he put them on every single hole, multiple on each hole.
Yes, and his performance tanked, and he was trying to figure out what happened, and it was this turtle. So that's why I said new turtles, right?
But they look damn good.
Yes, they looked really good. And then No Bad Vibes was more like a Hawaii thing, no bad vibes in Hawaii. And then No Glass, and then Watch B2B. So I just
love the B2B reference. Yep. Thank you for throwing that in there, buddy.
Well, there's a few of them. There's a
few. I got a couple. Yep.
And of course, you have to have the tropical drinks while you're hanging on Hawaii, right?
Yep. Course. Love it. Yep. Love it. So good. And then the iconic hole one. The mountain, the island in the background, perfectly colored with the fog or the clouds over the top of it.
Yeah.
And it plays. And what I didn't do is I thought about when I played this course. So we teed off on the box in front of this tee here, and right off to the right, and you can't really see, but underneath where it says total spin, there's a putting green over there. And sure enough, there are people putting off, and then you did a great job on the drainage tube that you drive through to go to the driving range, which by the way is a little small dinky driving range over
Which
there.
is why I didn't want to use that for the real driving range, like for
Yeah,
this.
it's
Yeah.
we got to the driving range, we're kind of like, man, what's this? But
Yes.
in this course, for those that haven't played it yet, there's I mean, you're at sea level basically, but there's a ton of elevation. This course has tons of elevation. It's like a mountain course. I mean, it's on a volcano, obviously. And then if you go forward one slide,
Yeah,
really
and
great
by the
job.
way, you and your daughter were a huge help with that mountain because initially I had it a little too green. I was going by pictures, which is tough, and she said, "Hey, it looks too." I think she said cartoonish or fake. So
Cartoony,
I was
yeah,
like, "Yeah,
cartoony. Yep.
so let me go back." I darkened it. I changed the fog a little bit. The challenge there was it's actually it's not as far away as the real island is because if I did that, it would start getting cold, right? It would
Right.
disappear.
Right.
So I had to
Yep.
like bring it in, shrink it to kind of it's like what Disney does, right?
Yep.
Stuff really isn't that far
Yep.
away. They just scale and shrink things. And but when I did that, then it looks fake. I couldn't put trees on it because then the trees look too
They
big
won't
in compare.
render.
Well, they render, but they look too big because they're
Right, for to see
close.
them because they're close.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
So then when she said it's too light, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I was initially going to do no gradient fog. So I finally added gradient fog, and that was the touch it needed.
That was the
So,
touch you needed. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. And
yep,
it's the right color too. So,
yep.
and then if you go forward one, I have a close up of the again, nice job on the T markers. Love those. Love the logo. So that's
And
great.
I tried to get the liquid to match the color or the glass to
Yeah.
match the color. So green has a grasshopper, like red as a cosmopolitan or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. You did a lot of your own Blender work on this one, especially how you built this clubhouse from scratch. Now, did you utilize DPR's house builder at all, or did you just do it all on your own?
So funny story there. This was built so long ago. It was before DPR House Builder came out.
There you go.
As a
Okay.
matter of fact, when I built this and then I initially showed it kind of in work in progress as a finished thing, he came back and said, "Oh, I should have let you beta House Builder. You could have done that in like 10 minutes." um, so it took me quite a while to do this, mostly because of me just trying to. It was really hard for me to find pictures of the clubhouse, and then it was like renovated and it changed.
Right.
Um, and then
Right.
most of the pictures I found, those windows on the top floor, most of the time they're open and the place
Right.
seems like it's very breezy inside. I actually experimented with for a while, opening those up and having an interior that was exposed and you could see in.
Mm.
Then, after I started doing it, realizing the amount of work it was going to be, and then also realizing no one would actually see it anyway,
No
coming
one
down
really sees it that
18,
close.
I
Yeah.
I bagged it and moved on.
Nice. Yeah. It looks great. It's such a good representation of the real clubhouse. So just it's really well done. Even the parking lot, and I know you can see him back there a little bit in the cars. Like even again, my daughter and I were flying around, and she was like, "Look, we parked our car right there and walked down to the clubhouse." So yeah, it was pretty cool. I called out the trees because you custom built and again, that's a very unique tree, for not just Hawaii, but for this part of the island. And you had to build this tree from scratch, right?
Yeah, so those are cook. They call those cook pines, and
Mm-hmm.
I actually took a speed tree course just to learn how to build trees, so I could make that one freaking tree. And the good thing is, like when I took the course, I learned how to like backport like Speed Tree 8, Speed Tree 9.
Yeah,
So that was kind of a nice thing. But Speed Tree is like it's $20 a month, which is to me it's ridiculous. It's
that's a
more like
lot if you're not building trees. Like if you're not
yeah. So
gaming
so I ended up
full
canceling it.
time.
I no longer like, but like I spent those trees basically took me 2 months.
But you needed them because if you
Yes.
tried to substitute with a different tree, it wouldn't look right. And
No.
you'll see on some of the other screenshots, they're everywhere on the ridges, on the edges of the
and
course.
and getting the lotting was a pain in the ass, and getting like that look where the ends of the branches are kind of silhouetted and then the
Yep.
but very you can see through them was
Yep.
I was back. I probably built 12 different models, ended up using two of them in the course.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I grabbed this. So this is number two. And I grabbed this because like there is no better alignment of tee boxes. I don't know who. I'm not sure how you did it. I'm not sure if you put a ruler down in Unity or what you did, but Your tee box in Greenkeeper, your tee box alignment was your tee marker alignment was great.
I find the trick to that is just shrink the icons down as far as they'll go. It's much easier to see if they're aligned then. Like
And
get
then
them
line
really
them up that
small
way.
and then zoom in and then line them up. That's usually the best way to do it.
I would
I'm,
like
I'm seeing
feature
like it looks
requests.
like some of them are sunk down there. I might have to check out why those are sunk.
It's because the tee is lower. I've checked that
Oh,
out.
it
The
okay.
the
It
the
goes
tee
down.
goes down a little bit. Correct. It's just the tee
Okay.
box is lower. They are exactly in line. What I was gonna say was feature request for Greenkeeper is a ruler that we can
Yes.
lay down and then put your tee marker, on those. Now, I will tell you, there is something about this screenshot I took intentionally that really caught my eye, and I'm curious if the folks that are watching can see what's caught it. But off top of, can you take a quick peek here and be like, oh, I know what caught your eye?
Is it the cart path?
It's the cart path,
Yeah.
and you can see that cart path looks different than all of our standard cart paths. And so if you go to the next screenshot, I zoomed in on that piece of the cart path, and you built 3D cart paths, 3D meshes in Blender to give that kind of rounded effect on the cart path, didn't you?
Yeah. I wanted something that didn't look. Every time I see cart paths on courses, even with sat shader, they look flat
They're
to me.
flat. It's
They're
just a
flat.
flat thing. Yep.
So I wanted something that had a little bit of an edge to it.
Yeah. Looks
And
like it was
so
rolled concrete, rolled asphalt, and it
yes,
rolled off yeah.
and these might not be. I know in real life these their cart paths there are like really patchy, like concrete
Yep.
here, something
Yep.
else there. They look like they're beat the shit.
Yep.
So I didn't go to that length to match them. So yeah, so in Blender when those shapes came in, I extruded them up like 5 centimeters.
Yep.
Okay, and then beveled the edges.
Beveled the edge down. Yeah.
Yeah, and
How
that
long did
was
that take you? Like on a windy car path like that, were you able to bevel the
uh,
one side edge the whole way? You just put some loop cuts in there and then beveled it one edge at a
mm,
time, or did you have to take section at a time?
I didn't have to do any loop cups. So all I had to do was I did a loop select on and
Yeah.
then extrude it up. And then essentially
Yep.
at that point you have like a raised rectangle, right?
Yep.
Then
Yep.
I kept that top edge selected and did a bevel, but beveled it 3 times.
Okay.
Um, and then actually at that 5 centimeters was actually too much. When I brought all that back into Unity, it was sticking up way too high. So then I actually took all the cart paths and I lowered them 2 centimeters in Unity.
In Unity, so they're a little below the. Yeah. Okay.
So
Got
they're
it.
a little below. And then I found some areas where there was actually some gaps. So I had to like go back through and make sure like the gaps were okay and fix those.
Mm.
Uh, But the
They
one
look
thing
great.
I haven't wasn't really said, if I go back here, to me on the right there, they look too high, right? But the reason
Yeah.
they look high is because there's the 3DG is cold at this point, right? There's no
Right.
3DG out there.
And that's
Here
why
they
when the next one, when you go here, you can see they're right up against it.
right.
Yep.
And that was the one
Yep.
thing I wasn't 100. And actually, in our tip of the day, I came up with a different way to do these, which is better in my opinion and actually easier. We'll talk about that later on. But I
Okay.
don't think I'll ever
Cool.
do this again. It was a huge pain in the ass, honestly. It
It
was more
sounds like it's a
experiment
lot of
that
work.
was like that was fun and like I was having fun like doing this. And at the end of the day, if I ever had to do it again, I'd say fuck no. You know, like screwing around with shit. Honest, that's what
But
takes me
it's
so long
really
with
nicely done.
courses. For everything I do that take like if these took me like overall an hour to do this, I probably spent 6, 7, 8 hours screwing around with it. Right.
Yeah, but it gives. I mean, the results a really unique look. Okay,
Yes.
and
Yeah. Thank you.
unfortunately, I'm not sure how many people out of the design community are going to recognize it. They're going to hit their
Right.
ball and be like, "Yes, I hit the car path. Damn it!"
Oh, it's also I know what I really like is the ball action too, because when a ball approaches now the cart path,
It
it
bounces off.
it actually if it's going fast enough, it kind of
It'll bounce
bounces up
on.
onto the
Yep.
cart path and then kind of bounces off the other side. The physics look even more real, and if it's not going hard enough, it'll actually bounce off and come back. It looks really cool.
I bet that DPR can rescript the cart path script in Blender to give them this kind of a beveled edge.
100%.
Um, and add it as a, like, we already have the curb option, add a
Yeah.
beveled edge option in there, and it would just do the same thing. It would raise it and bevel the edges, and I bet there's a way
We'll
of
talk
doing
about
that
it
in.
in the tip of the day, but it added a lot more try count too. It
Yeah,
at
I could see
least
that.
doubled the try counts on the cart pass though. That was
Yeah,
another
I could see
problem.
that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Cool. Grasses, fantastic. Really, really done. Great mix of, again, there is 3DG on the rough, more 3DG on the deep rough, then hand planted 2D grasses with some hand planted additional 3D grasses mixed in throughout there. So you end up with this really, really lush grasses area that it looked fantastic and different heights and the colors blend. And again, we've talked about this a lot in the show. You can see a patch where there's a lighter green and a patch where there's a darker green. You can see a purple flower that they kind of that plant with some purple on it, but they all go together. It's not everything's the same color, and not everything is disjointed. It just blended really, really well together.
Yeah, honestly, like here I get inspiration from Pac-Man and stuff like this. Like
Yeah, he's
I think initially that purple like plant that you see there, that was added at the very end. Like I think actually in beta those weren't in there. And then I look at a couple of his courses and he's really good at like just add something in there that breaks it up a little bit more.
yep,
And so that's what I did with that plant.
looks great. Looks really good.
Thanks. Thanks.
Your bunkers, you did a ton of blender work on your bunkers. I meant to get a close up of the lip because you've got a really nice rounded lip from the grass going into the bunker on them. And I thought you could see it here, but I don't think the screenshot does it quite justice. But again, really, really, and you also did a lot of work, and you can see it in the right side of the bunker over there where you've got a slope coming down. It's not equal, uniform like some of the stuff we do automatically in the tools.
Yeah.
You manually went in and chose sections to lower at different rates than others to get a little more ununiformity. Is that a word? Ununiformity, which makes it look more real to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of tips from CE Sim Golf. I don't go to the extent that he does.
No one goes
um,
the extent that he
right.
does.
But I definitely used some of his tips in there, and I wanted the what I call these like puffy bunkers because they had that rounded edge on them. So
Yep.
that's where I spent most of the time on was that rounded lip that kind of folds underneath, which I thought was like all the pictures I saw. I had to get that for the course.
Yep. Yep. Great. Looked really good. Bunkers played great.
Oh, this
And
is
then the
18.
iconic
Yeah,
18, iconic 18, you got to come down and when you're in your fairway, aim at the clubhouse, even though the pin's off to the left.
I think.
Everything slopes way left.
Yeah, one thing I noticed on the course, like it was one of the videos I watched, you see the white markers on the side. They actually mow those. So like they put those in, and then they mow like a strip so you can see those markers. And if you fly around and look
Yeah.
down at the white out of bound markers wherever I did a veggie mask
Oh, did you?
through those so that anything I planted in there would be removed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I will say, and you did a really great job. Performance was great. And you still, I felt, had the lushness. That course has got so many, especially like that left area. If you look left of that tee box where those trees are and where those bushes and shrubs are, those deep crevasse areas down there are filled with trees and you name it, and bushes and shrubs and grasses. And I felt like you had all that lushness throughout the whole course, but it didn't impact performance. I had no issues on any of my machines.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Every time I added something, like another bush, another plant, I was
Took
like
something else away.
hyper evaluating the LODs on it and
Yep.
tweaking them and like seeing exactly what that impact was. Because the last thing you want to do is throw all this together and then do a benchmark and only find out performance suck and then figure out where to go from there.
Yep.
Uh,
Agreed.
which it was. So here's an idiot thing again. Which was the course was performing really well. It went into beta performing really well, and then I pushed an update, and all of a sudden performance tanked. And I was like, "What the hell?" And Cook was like, "Dude, this is bad." John was like, "This is really bad. What happened?" And I'm like, "I don't know what's going on." And it was my meshes, something with my meshes. Well, it was the 3DG. What had happened was I had put a a higher density blend or 3DG on like a couple of blends, like actually here you can like the blend between the semi and the rough here. I
Yep.
put higher
Yep.
density 3DG in there, but it was somewhat shorter, and I changed the bend on it a little bit so it comes in a little bit more compared to the other grass. So like the other
Yep.
grass is straight up, the stuff in the blends kind of actually folds in a little bit more. And I accidentally copied that 3DG into all the other, so it was denser and my performance just tanked. So thankfully I figured out what it was rather quickly, but yeah.
Just really, really great job. Stellar course.
Thank you.
If we did aces, I would give it an ace right out of the gate. We do MPOWs. Congratulations, my friend. Well,
Thank you.
well deserved, and
Yay.
it's a great addition to GS Pro.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, your turn.
So we talked about cart paths, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 3D cart paths, if you want to call them that. So let me bring in the course I'm working at right now, because I was going to do the same thing here on this course. And what you're looking at right now, you can see this course, this cart path right here. It's actually the same texture as Kapalua. This is the stock texture with Unity, and and actually, guys, I just did create a series of videos on creating new textures, the OPC Moss textures, out of Quixel. So if you can bring in new stuff, but
yeah, it's great.
So I have Sat Shader on here. You can see that there's a little bit of a change in the lining and stuff. But this particular cart path, if I zoom in nice and close, I made this one in Blender.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you look here, if I go to wireframe, it's showing that 3. You can see right here. You can see that bevel.
Yep.
Right. So there's 1, 2, 3 bevels, and then the cart path, like the bottom of the cart path, right there. Now, you can imagine how much more geometry this is adding, because this is the normal geometry of the cart path, and look how big those triangles are, right? Now I have all these tiny ones down here. It's at least doubling the geometry here, which is, you got to be careful because that can impact your performance, right?
Yep.
So that was, and I did one of these and I brought it in, and then I went to go to do the next one, and I was having a hard time extruding it because of the way the geometry was for this particular, the way Blender did it for some reason. I had a hard time. So then I was kind of stuck. I'm like, shit, do I not do 3D cart paths? Do I only do some of them? So here is a 2-dimensional one. All right, and you can tell this is 2-dimensional, right? Because I mean, it doesn't look
like,
and there's a blend around it. Right here's the blend. So I started playing with the blend, and what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to come up here and turn off the selection outline gizmo. So my blend is still selected, but you can't see that it's selected, but now you at least get to see the coloring of it, right? So if I go over here, and right now, so my cart path in the middle here is the exact same texture as my blend, but this is just a
you're
blend.
Just doing the exact same.
It's blending from concrete to concrete.
Okay,
and you can see, you can't tell that there's a blend there because it matches so perfectly. But if you come into the blend and come all the way down here to the black, and you just increase the black strength a little bit, watch what'll happen.
Yeah, nice.
Now you got 3D cart paths, right?
Yeah, you got almost the same
effect.
Same effect with it by strengthening the black blend. Yeah, the black channel.
Yeah, it looks pretty good
without the try count increase. It looks pretty good.
And you're talking about like a 10-second change versus like an hour.
Yeah.
So that's my tip, is just, if you want like to add just a little bit of something extra to your cart paths, just play with that blend on the outside. It doesn't take much. You don't want to have it too strong, because if you have it too strong, then you'll start to get like this is too strong. You get a hard line there, right? You just back it off a little bit. You can even change the color, make it maybe a little bit darker. But if you get it just right, it does the same effect pretty much. So,
man, that's cool. I like that tip. That's a good way. It's a neat way of using blends too. Like, other than, it's a good way of looking how do you tweak your blend, do something other than just blending. I mean, I know it sounds strange, but you know what I mean?
And actually, this looks much better. Let me just turn on my vegetation, because it actually,
you put some grass up against it, and
you put some of the vegetation along the side here and with the plants and things, and then it actually really comes together nicely. But this might take a while because this is towards the end of the course and everything. It's like very rich at this point.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
So yeah, quick tip of the week.
Love it. Love it. Good job. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna look at that in my new course that I'm working on.
Yeah. I'm not sure how it works with other textures. I'm assuming it'll work just as fine, but worth a shot, right?
I would assume. Yeah, we'll play with it. I love it. Good tip.
Thanks. All right.
All
Then we have
right.
feature request of the week.
Yeah, this one's yours. I did mine last week. I don't have one this week.
I forget what I did, but
I know what it
yes,
is.
yes. So yeah, we talked about this because how many times have you been playing GS Pro and you walk up, or even online, you and I are playing, and you're sitting there swinging the ball, and it's my
I
turn.
do it
You're like,
all the freaking
no read,
time.
no read, no read. And I have the guys over Thursday night league, and it never fails. Once a night, someone goes in and hits someone else's ball. Now, sometimes they
Yep.
realize it right away and they just take a mulligan, but sometimes they'll hit the ball, leave, and the next guy comes in and hits. And next thing you know, that the guy whose ball they hit comes in, he goes, "That's not where I was at." And then you got a mess on your hands. So this is really simple, which is have an option like in the settings for GS Pro that the name of the person who's up, their name comes up big on the screen for a set amount of time, 5 seconds, and you could pick this 5, 10 seconds or whatever. And that way, when the guys are because we play socially, they're all sitting around at the bar. I have a second screen that shows like what the golfer sees around the TV around the bar. It
Yep.
flashes
Yep.
their
Yep.
name
Yep.
up, and
Yep.
Jeff is up, and it might prevent people from hitting the wrong ball.
Yeah, I'd like to see something like that, or like you said, a minimum your name flashing or a box flashing around whose turn it is, so that people can see whose it is. I
Yeah,
cannot tell you how many times I've hit the ball thinking I had a no read, and then a couple of seconds after I hit, I hear you hit in the background. I'm like, oh shit! Same thing with putting, by the way. I get up there and I putt the ball, and it
yeah,
doesn't go
yeah,
anywhere, and then or this has happened a couple of times. It's been real fun actually, but you and I both managed to hit the exact same time, but it was your turn to hit, not mine. So I hit the ball, and I'm like, I didn't actually hit the ball that over there. What is going on with that?
you were like,
And then,
wow. You were like, wow. I've never hit the ball that far before.
exactly. Then of course I'm like, it's all GS Pro's fault. It's all GS Pro's fault. No, it was my fault. It's user error.
But
Yeah, I agree. I
I
think that'd
like
be a
to say,
nice
well,
small.
this would be an easy one to implement, but who knows, right?
Nice. That's a good small feature. By the way, you did notice, and while they fixed it, and then they fixed it as well, but they did take the feature request on the hitting escape or A, I think it was, to
Yes,
adjust your aim point.
yes,
So that was great to see they are listening. And I do know, by the way, I do believe they're looking into how they can tweak the GS Pro loading screen since load times are taking longer. I think because the encryption of the courses that they're looking into having like the request we made about either the course splash screen or information about the course. They're looking at something
okay.
instead of just the black background with the GS Pro logo.
And John had a I think they used to do that at one point, and then there was an issue with it.
Yeah, there was something. Who I think it was Soupy he showed me an image or maybe posted in the B2B channel of this is what they used to load, but it was low res and
Yeah,
it caused some issues of some kind. But yeah, I mean I don't know. They've got the course anyway. I think I love. I guess my long-winded point is I love that they are taking a look at some of these and the ones that make sense. They're getting implemented where they
yeah.
can. And then, of course, they've not implemented the you've got to wait 3 minutes to look for your ball and the shit that we asked for. They've not implemented the
Well, and the
club
thing is,
throwing penalty.
I think the theme for the show this week is blending segments together because there's another feature request that's coming up in post of the week.
Okay. All right. All right. Oh, my favorite post of the week. My
Yeah.
favorite.
Now
Yay.
you didn't have any this week, so these are
I
all
didn't
mine.
like these are all yours. I had a really crazy busy week getting ready for the holiday and trying to get my work closed out. And I'll be honest with you, if I see one more course one more asking about a course or what's your favorite course or like
What are some wide open courses good for beginners? Ugh.
I mean if I see another freaking request to have auto putt on op 36
Mm.
I don't. I couldn't find any that I thought were worthy of putting into the post of the week, so I defer to you.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Hopefully, now the first one isn't golf related. It is
Okay.
actually, I live in a development, like a house. There are other houses. They're all done by the same builder. There's a homeowners association. We've got rules that, if you put up a new bail box, it has to be similar to everybody else's. There's no livestock allowed. There's no, out, you can't put out
No
like
livestock.
no sheds unless it's approved, and the shed has the same. Bottom line is, it's a structured community. There's
Yep.
good and bad things about that.
Yep.
But one thing I would not expect to see, and this was in our neighborhood Facebook group, is if anyone's missing their rooster. I saw him along Hayshed Road across from Duncan this morning.
I hope they find him before Duncan does. They put him in a donut.
My God, who has a rooster in a development?
Who has a rooster in the?
And this is in Pennsylvania. Now, I know I've been to Florida a lot. There's like wild roosters. Down the South, they tend to have what? No, there are no roosters.
Down in the Keys, there's chickens and roosters all over the place in the Keys. But like, yeah.
All right. So we're desperate for posts this week, so I grabbed that one.
I love that one though. That's great. I love that.
Yeah, I guess maybe the rooster was head out for some coffee at Duncan. Who knows?
Who knows?
So here's the other feature request, which is half funny, but actually would be very satisfying, is if there was a key or a shortcut key where you could hit, I'm thinking like something like Q or something, if you hit it 5 times really fast, like your bag just goes flying out into the fairway, and your clubs and shit go everywhere.
I love this. But I'm gonna augment this. I love this, but I think it can be implemented a little differently. Okay.
Okay.
So you're playing in a round with 3 others. You have a foursome playing online, and they hear you throw a club. They could vote to take that club out of your bag for the rest of the round. So you're basically, pop up on your screen. Your teammates they saw you break your 3-wood. You no longer hit a 3-wood for the rest of the round.
Your 3-wood has been put into purgatory.
Now, I don't know how they would implement it, because you can still, just because bag mapping doesn't. Yeah.
You're gonna have to turn off your video so they don't see you using it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a big club thrower, but in frustration, I have tossed it into the screen because I know it won't go anywhere. I'll just hit and come right down.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I can imagine some people get mad. I'm sure there's some holes in walls.
There's definitely. I thought Soupy had tagged us in about watching someone, and I went in and looked at their feed, and the guy was just swearing a lot. Like,
I saw that. He was just going crazy. Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think he broke a club.
No, he didn't break a club. But this would actually be satifying for me, though, to be able to hit a shortcut key and just see my freaking clubs go.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
And better yet, if they would randomize it, like one time you hit it and it's just like a club. The next time you hit it, it's your bag. The next time you do it, it's like your, I don't know, it's your wife.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of doing, to follow the Chasing Scratch guys, a full Palmero out of a round. And I've done that out of an SGT round where it's like, I'm like hole through 9, I'm 11 over. I'm like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And I just like exit. That's when I want the button to throw the clubs, the whole bag down the fairway while I'm exiting out. I'm Palmeroing out of my round.
Yeah, another one would be throw the clubs, and then you see a golf cart run them over.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I like that one. Now, you do have a broken club in the lake that run put in for you after you're 17 on the
after my
hole,
17, yes. That was very satisfying as well, yes.
I love this.
This was a good one. This kind of went to my heart a little bit. I'm going to have to move our video a little bit out of the way here. But
that's fine. Yeah.
Golf Sim is definitely down out of commission while I switch projectors. I'm not okay. Please check on your friends.
But why is the Golf Sim down just because you're swapping projectors?
I don't know.
You have a monitor on your gaming PC. Yeah. You can still use that and hit into the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just I love the
Come on,
the
Damon.
attitude here. Like,
Come on, Damon. You're not down. You just
priorities,
don't have.
man.
Come on, man. You're not. You're never down. Even when the screen is down, it's hitting the wall.
Maybe he
They just
wasn't allowed
bounce.
to buy a new one until his wife said until you sell the old one, and now he's got the cash and he's waiting. I don't know. Who knows? I'm
I
making
don't
up
know.
stuff. I'm making up stuff here.
I'm with you, Damon.
And the last one, this is one that was it made, and the guys that are on Discord will know this one, but it was such a good one. I had to post it, which is this guy.
I saw this one.
Likes to putt when playing sim golf.
No one.
Thank you for letting us all know that we don't like to putt, even though
I'm glad that
do.
he has got the confidence to speak for every single GS Pro sim golfer out there. No one likes to putt.
Yes.
No one.
And the funny thing is, it was, I think within like an hour, this thing had like 20 comments of people just like, I do like to putt, and 2, don't speak for me ever again.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love the big generalization. GS Pro team, I know you monitor this. Okay, add more auto putt tours. No one likes to putt. Dumbass, I love to putt. I have no problem with it. It's part of the game. Sim putting is part of the game.
Yes.
And last time I checked, there's an auto putt tour. How many more auto putt? I mean, is the auto putt? I have not played the auto putt tour, so I'm speaking from ignorance here. Is it a shorter distance off the tee? I don't think so.
I don't know. Isn't there a par 3 auto putt and then another regular auto putt?
I think there's a par 3 and a regular, and the regular is just the SGT.
Yeah.
It's just an auto putt version of the SGT. So what? Yeah. You want a tips auto putt? Well, if you're playing from the tips, then you can actually. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thanks for speaking for me, Mr. Whatever your name is.
Yeah, this is one of those posts where I do click on the profile to see what the person looks like. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't like what you saw. He threw up a little in your mouth.
Yeah. That's what he looks like. All right. That is it.
All right.
That is my last. Yeah, I'm not going forward anymore. I'm clicking and nothing's happening. So we are at the end.
Okay, we're done. We're at the end. All right. Hey, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you, to your family.
You too. Yes.
Thank you to everybody watching. Hopefully you will enjoy this episode on Christmas Eve.
Most likely, yes.
Sunday. Steve might get it by Sunday.
Steve might get to it either tomorrow night or Sunday morning. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then TBD if we're going to take off the next week. We'll see. We have to see how family schedules look.
Yep.
Cool.
All righty.
Jingle bell music. Jingle bell music. See you, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.